I just finished my 30th year of teaching. Most of those years have been in fifth grade teaching ELA and social studies to gifted students. Every year I do a survey at the end of the year, and every year, hands down, my students' favorite things are the simulations that we do. It started back 30 years ago when I taught a pioneer simulation, and my kids got on wagon trains traveling west, pulling fate cards to see whether they got bit by a rattlesnake or their wagon wheel broke. But either way, they had a blast learning about westward expansion and the gold rush in a collaborative way. Now my curriculum's changed, but we still do simulations. Here are some pictures from my kids from this year doing the simulations in social studies. So we first start off the year with our map skills unit. I used the heritage unit, but I renamed it the amazing race. This way, kids are learning map skills by racing across the United States in teams. They plan secret routes to see who can plan the fastest route while hitting the most historical sites. And there's our winning team. We move on in our Native American unit to the Mayan simulation, where the kids run cities to see who can have the highest population. Here we have our high priests solving the ancient codex. Here, the ambassadors are trading at the market, they're trading their natural resources. And then our noble lords and mathematicians are counting our daily census. We end the year with the Amigo simulation, and it's also a race, but in Latin America. The kids race from southern Texas all the way to the southern tip of Latin America. They learn about each country along the way and pull fate cards to see if they're trapped in the Amazon rainforest or finding treasure, who knows. But either way, it's a very motivating way to end our school year. Unfortunately, in social studies, not every topic lends itself to the most exciting lessons. So sometimes we might feel like Ferris Bueller's teacher when we don't get to teach things like wars or ancient civilizations, but we have to teach things like the Great Depression. So unfortunately, and hopefully your class does not look like this one. I'm afraid that we might sink into a Great Depression if we keep listening to that lesson. So I know sometimes people think that simulations are fluff, but there's no denying they get our kids actively involved in their learning. And research shows that when our kids are actively engaged, they are learning, they are less anxious, and they quite frankly achieve at a higher rate. So here are 4 studies that show that when your kids are actively engaged in your classroom, they are truly shining. So let's take a look at the first one. A study published in the Journal of Educational Psychology found that student engagement is positively associated with academic achievement in middle school students. They also found that engagement was positively associated with motivation and academic self-concept. So when I'm finished reading these, I really want you to think about which one of these points resonates the best with you. And maybe you bring your own personal experience to one of these research points. The second one is a study published in the Journal of Research on Adolescence found that student engagement is the critical factor in predicting academic achievement in middle school students. The study found that engagement predicted academic achievement above and beyond factors such as intelligence and prior achievement. Number three, engaged students tend to have better mental health and well being than disengaged students. A study published in the Journal of School Psychology found that engaged students reported lower levels of anxiety and depression less than their engaged peers. And that is so important, especially this day and age. And number four, a study published in the American Education Research Journal found that middle school students who are more engaged in their academic work are more likely to have higher grades, higher standardized test scores, and higher rates of on time graduation. And those, of course, are our end goals for sure. So go ahead and take a minute and think about which one of these research points really resonates with you. And then I want you to put it in the comments, or if your cameras are on, go ahead and hold up a 1, 2, 3, or 4 for which research study resonates best with you. If anyone would like to share what they were thinking, that would be great. Let me know. Okay, great. Well, now that we have the research and we love teaching social studies, we want to find that unit that you feel like needs a little bit more spice. Maybe it's the Great Depression, because not all of our units can be wars or ancient civilizations. We sometimes have to teach content that isn't very exciting in social studies. So I want you to think about the one that you kind of dread pulling out each year and which one you want to add some spice to. And then we're going to get into your active classrooms for social studies school service and search for the interact simulation that might be just what you need to spice up your least favorite lessons. So I'm going to go ahead and have you pull up that active classroom. And here are the directions on my screen for how to access all of those interact simulations. You're going to go ahead and click on activities, which is the magnifying glass icon. And then to the right, go to the search bar and click on the blue button that says advanced. Then you'll get onto the series title and scroll down and find interact simulations. And that is going to lead you to all of the topics that we have available for you. I'm going to have you go ahead and take some time to go through those. But as you do, I want you to keep in mind some of these things because these simulations can be modified to meet your needs. So one, you can fit them into the time frame that you have. So don't be scared if you see one that lasts 30 days. You can honestly change it to last just 1 or 2 days if you want to, if that's all the time that you have. If you're afraid it's not going to cover the content you need, you can swap out the activities in the simulation for your tried and true activities that you want to do in your classroom. And of course, they all include research and critical thinking, which challenges our most gifted learners and then gets them all actively engaged with collaboration and participation. So those are the keys to these simulations. So go ahead, I'm going to turn it back to the directions for you to try to find that perfect simulation for you. Let me know if you need any help getting there. Thanks.